It's
You have one new person.
Good morning. Welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Lynchburg. Here we gather in a spirit of freedom and friendship. Whoever you are, whatever your beliefs, whatever your age, and whomever you love, you are welcome here. As we work together for justice, compassion, and peace, we also acknowledge with humility that our buildings sit on land originally part of the Monacan Nation. My name is Brianna Vallone, a longtime member of our church. If you are with us for the first time, we're glad you chose to be here this morning to participate in the service for this church community that we love. We would be happy to tell you more about our community during virtual social time following the service. If you would like to receive our monthly newsletter and Friday email updates, please fill out our virtual visitor card found on our website, office@uulynchburg.org, under Sunday services held via Zoom for more information and the Zoom link. You may also wish to join our Facebook group. Many thanks to Betsy Grabowski, Joanne Morse, Pat Bauer, and Susan Turner for loaning us their plants, these beautiful plants right here, for the service today. Without realizing it, we have plants from around the world in our homes. Join Reverend Terry for a chat on Tuesday, February 8th at 5:30 for Tuesday Tea Time with Terry. See the Zoom link in the Friday blast. Gateway dinner is coming up this Wednesday. We are still in need of garlic bread and dessert. If you can help, please be in touch with Bob Morris, 238-7205. Movies That Matter will be this Tuesday at 7 p.m. via Zoom. We'll be watching a very interesting and insightful conversation between historian and author Don Meacham and Bishop Michael Curry, the first African-American head of the Episcopal Church, on possible, appropriate, and helpful ways religion and democracy can interface. Contact McConnell Morris at revs2uu@aol.com. I invite us now to enter into the service by taking some slow, calming breaths, releasing all that might keep us from being fully present this morning.
As we enter into our time together, we light our chalice and we share these words. May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, O Spirit of life. And David, if you'd like to spotlight us so people, yay, so people can see these beautiful plants. Rihanna?
Yes, these are the opening words. If there is to be peace in the world, there must be peace among the nations. If there is to be peace among the nations, there must be peace in the cities. If there is to be peace in the cities, there must be peace among the neighbors. If there is to be peace among the neighbors, there must be peace in the homes. If there is to be peace in the home, there must be peace in the heart.
Katrina, thank you for leading our time for all ages this morning.
Thank you, Terry. Good morning and welcome to A Time for All Ages. What does it mean to live in a place of peace? What is peace? Is it simply wanting people to live in harmony with one another, never fighting or having disagreements? Peace can be that, but it can also be much more than that. Striving for peace in our world can be challenging since everybody has a different idea of what is right or wrong for themselves and often for others. Sometimes it's more complicated than that, especially when there are people suffering whose needs are not being met. Often when we think about peace, we think about the negative things that are going on around us that make peace more challenging to achieve with one another. But maybe if we focus on what is possible and not what seems impossible, that would be a more helpful way to work together for peace. Today, I'd like to speak about an individual whose entire life was all about peace. And his name was Thich Nhat Hanh. Thich Nhat Hanh was a Vietnamese Buddhist monk and peace activist. He just recently passed away on January the 22nd at the age of 95 years old. Over his lifetime, Tay, as he was known by his students, which means teacher, he was dedicated to finding peaceful solutions to conflicts in many places, including his homeland. Tay was born in central Vietnam in 1926, and at the age of 16, he entered into a Zen Buddhist monastery and took the name Thich Nhat Hanh. As well as practicing meditation, Tay founded the School of Youth for Social Service. And this was a voluntary organization that helped people in rural areas who were struggling with in need of education and healthcare, and helping create new opportunities for these folks. In 1960, Tay moved to the US, where he studied religion at Princeton University. He learned to speak several languages, and he learned about many different religious traditions. During this time, Thich Nhat Hanh was active in supporting fellow Buddhists who were supporting nonviolent efforts to promote peace in Vietnam, his own homeland. During this time, Buddhists who very seldom took sides on anything were often told they could not speak about even peace from the government. In 1965, Tay issued an important document called the Call for Peace, and he wrote, "It is time for North and South Vietnam to find a way to stop the war and help all Vietnamese people live peacefully and with mutual respect." Tay was also critical of the US involvement in the Vietnam War. In the mid-60s, he got to know Martin Luther King Jr. Tay urged King to speak out against the Vietnam War, and Dr. King was very moved by the teachings of Thich Nhat Hanh. And in 1967, Dr. King made his first statements criticizing the war in Vietnam. He also went on to publicly nominate Thich Nhat Hanh for the Nobel Peace Prize in 1967. Hanh also created something called the Order of Interbeing, and this included a wonderful retreat center called Plum Village in France. Later, several centers were established all around the world, and these centers are open today to both monks and lay people who were able to visit for periods of retreat throughout the year. A diverse range of people have visited the mindfulness centers and have been affected by this opportunity for meditation and mindfulness. Tay's approach has been to combine different elements of different Buddhist traditions. And he's written many books about mindfulness and inner peace. He hoped that by teaching ways to find inner peace and practice mindfulness, then more people would see the positive ways that living a life of peace would bring to society and to the world. Here are some of the things that Thich Nhat Hanh said that have become very well known. Breathing in, I calm body and mind. Breathing out, I smile. When our understanding of what is going on deepens, and we begin to be filled with acceptance, joy, peace, and love. Even though he was criticized by his own homeland in Vietnam and his government and exiled, he was sent often to many different places. And he traveled a lot and continued to teach about peace in ways that keep on making a difference in the lives of so many people all over the world. Thich Nhat Hanh is an example of someone who didn't let challenging situations keep him from teaching and leading by example. He didn't focus on the negative things happening around him, but instead he focused on what positive differences he and others could make in the world around them. In this way, he keeps on and continues to inspire us every single day on our journey towards greater peace in the world and greater peace within ourselves. Blessed be.
Thank you, Katrina. So I want to talk a little bit about how the flow of this service is going to go. The Universalist Sufi lineage, of which I'm a part, and many UUs around the country are a part of it, was brought to this country from India in the late 1800s by Hazrat Inayat Khan, and his spiritual teacher sent him here to be a bridge to build connections between the spirituality of the East and the spirituality of the West. Our words and this ritual that we're going to practice today is celebrated all over the world. As a matter of fact, I got an invitation from the Netherlands to participate in this ritual this afternoon. Our theme for this month is widening the circle. So it seemed appropriate to meditate on peace because our tradition widens our circle to embrace the whole world. Today, I will also attempt to play the didgeridoo, an Aboriginal instrument from Australia. And please forgive any elementary bleats that I might make while I'm trying to get warmed up. My teacher on the didgeridoo was from Australia, and he was given permission by his Aboriginal teacher to teach people in the United States, including women. And this was an important permission that was given because traditionally for over a millennium, only men played the didgeridoo. And my didgeridoo is made in the traditional way by an Aboriginal artist and teacher from a eucalyptus branch. And at one end, if you see it up close, you can see the end of the branch. And authentic didgeridoos are hollowed out. The branches are hollowed out by termites, and then you know, oh, this is a hollow branch, and you can make a didge out of it. So this is a traditional form of music and art for Aboriginal people, and I play it today with honor and respect for the Aboriginal teachers and ancestors who allow me to play this. You know, one of the reasons that is also important about having this service today is that we tend to focus on what's wrong and what's broken in the world. And we don't give much time to really envisioning and thinking about what would peace in our community, what would peace in our world look like? So I challenge us and invite us to begin to focus more of our time and energy on what a peaceful world can be, and spend less time focusing our attention on what is broken. So let us be at peace with our breathing and our bodies as we participate in this meditative service. The ministries of our church are supported by the love, talents, and gifts of our many volunteers and staff, as well as the monetary support of our members and friends. If you have found this church to be of value in your life, then I invite you to use the donate button found on our website at uulynchburg.org. There you can make donations to First Unitarian Universalists. We give thanks for your gifts, understanding that gifts given in love and hope continue a cycle of love and hope. It is our tradition to honor the whole of our lives. So you are invited to share the joys, sorrows, and milestones in your life.
Barbara and they thank us, they think about us every year and they invite us. So again, thank you for having me as your guest. I believe the last time I was there, we kind of talked about what was happening in the city of Lynchburg and through the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank. During that time, pre-pandemic, we were functioning and increasing our distributions and reaching those who were food insecure. When the pandemic hit, pre-pandemic, we were serving about 18,500 people a month through our Lynchburg branch. When the pandemic hit, it increased significantly. And we started seeing families who've never visited the food bank ever come to the food banks for help during that time. And our distributions rose about 30% during that time. The distributions kind of a little bit. And so here we are in 2022 kind of that same in need. Things are starting to improve with government assistance. Job numbers are getting better. But we're still serving about 118,000 people a month in the entire Blue Ridge Area Food Bank. And at least 1 in 12 people now are experiencing hunger and food insecurity. So it's grown about 4% from pre-pandemic. So it's been a little shift in things. It's kind of normaled out to that right now. Most of us kind of grumble, when we see a 5% change in our income because of inflation, where prices start getting higher, and we might see about a 6.3% increase in grocery. We might see a 12% increase in meats, poultry, and fish. So we can tighten our belts a little bit and kind of tighten up our budgets and still be able to kind of muddle through this time. But there are a lot of families who cannot do that. And so, there is hope that is in the change in jobs, the change in the support that's there by the government, but we still have a long way to go. To give an idea of the shift in visits to the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank and their area partners, we are now serving in the Lynchburg. We were pre-pandemic about 18,500 people a month. Now in the Lynchburg area, we are serving about 30,500 families a month. So it's a significant increase. And so we are able to continue to help them, but there's a lot of work that still needs to be done. And we are faithful in getting those things completed and getting distributions out to the areas that need it most, and those sustaining those who are still continuing to help the food insecure. And it's been a challenging year or two, but I think overall we're leveling out and still able to provide the help that's needed in the community. And thanks for generous donors and gifts from the community, such as you all. Without that, it would be a little harder to make those things happen. So thank you again for considering us and thinking of us each year. Pat, thank you again for inviting us again to speak, and I just appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Jim. And just a reminder that if people want to give donations directly through the church, make sure you put in the memo line for the food bank. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks. Are there other joys and concerns this morning?
We got 2 cats.
That sounded like
Yes, are
Thank you, David. And if you could put us on spotlight, not that Brianna and I particularly need to be in the spotlight, but I want everybody to see these beautiful plants. So I'd like for us to settle into our bodies and to be mindful of our breathing. We breathe in and out almost unconscious of our breath. I mean, we just do it all the time. But we don't think about the fact that the air we breathe out circulates around the whole world, joining with breaths from all living beings through air currents and storms. The air circulates. The winds from the Sahara blow dust over to our fields to plant crops for our nourishment. Our breath joins with others. We are interconnected on the most primal level. And so we prepare to water the plants from or representing each of the continents of the world. In unison with the love behind all love, we water the plant from and representing the wisdom growing from the earth and water, from the fire and air of Europe. Of Africa, of the Middle East, of Asia, of Australia and Oceania, of South America, of North America. We give thanks for the living plants and animals as well as the land of each continent on our Mother Earth. May we humans live more gently in harmony with the rhythms of nature, honoring the earth, the air, the fire, and the water of each continent. Today, we also honor the voice of each continent. Every culture and people around the world have their own voices expressed through writing, song, art, ritual, and practice. Each of these is grounded and shaped by their place on earth. Today, our cultural offerings include words or music from indigenous people or a spiritual teacher from each continent. We begin our reflection with the Sufi invocation from Hazrat Inayat Khan. Toward the One, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty, the only being united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the message, the spirit of guidance. We began our journey around the world with the continent of Europe. And our two offerings today, one comes from Celtic Christianity, a poem by John O'Donohue, and the other from our motherland, the traditional Transylvanian Unitarian blessing.
This is from John O'Donohue. In out of the way places of the heart, where your thoughts never think to wander, this beginning has been quietly forming, waiting until you were ready to emerge. For a long time, it has watched your desire, feeling the emptiness growing inside you, noticing how you willed yourself on, still unable to leave what you had outgrown. It watched you play with the seduction of safety and the gray promises that sameness whispered, heard the waves of turmoil rise and relent, wondered, would you always be like this? Then the delight when your courage kindled and out you stepped onto new ground, your eyes young again with energy and dream, a path of plenitude opening before you. Though your destination is not yet clear, you can trust the promise of this opening. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning that is at one with your life's desire. Awaken your spirit to adventure. Hold nothing back. Learn to find ease in risk. Soon you will home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you.
Our Transylvanian ancestors have had this blessing for centuries. And if we look in our sanctuary, there's a little plate on the wall given from our sister congregation that has this blessing written on it. Where there is faith, there is love. Where there is love, there is peace. Where there is peace, there is blessing. Where there is blessing, there is God. Where there is God is all we need. Excuse me. In unison with the light behind all light, we offer our respect and gratitude for the wisdom inspired by the earth and water, by the fire and the air of Europe. We move on to Sister Africa, or I should say Mother Africa, with a poem by Idowu Koyenakin, and also two short quotes from
Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela. I was trying to cough and wind down. I love this poem. Most people write me off when they see me. They do not know my story. They say I'm just an African. They judge me before they get to know me. What they do not know is the pride I have in the blood that runs through my veins, the pride I have in my rich culture and the history of my people, the pride I have in my strong family ties and a deep connection to my community. The pride I have in the African music, African art, and African dance. The pride I have in my name and the meaning behind it. Just as my name has meaning, I too will live my life with meaning. So you think I am nothing? Don't worry about what I am now. For what I will be, I'm gradually becoming. I will raise my head high wherever I go because of my African pride, and nobody will take that away from me.
These are two short readings from Nelson Mandela. I am fundamentally an optimist. When that comes from nature or nurture, I cannot say. Part of being optimistic is keeping one's head pointed toward the sun, one's feet moving forward. There were many dark moments when my faith in humanity was sorely tested, but I would not and could not give myself up to despair. That way lays defeat and death. I have walked that long road to freedom. I have tried not to falter. I have made missteps along the way, but I have discovered the secret that after climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. I've taken a moment here to rest, to steal a view of the glorious vista that surrounds me, to look back on the distance I have come. But I can only rest for a moment, for with freedom comes responsibilities, and I dare not linger, for my long walk is not ended.
In unison with the light behind all light, we offer our respect and gratitude for the wisdom inspired by the earth and water, by the fire and air of Africa. We move now to the Middle East, where Brianna will read a poem by Rumi, and I will share a spiritual chant.
The guest house. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond.
One of my favorite meditations is a short 4-word chant. Ishq Allah Mabud Leila. Ishq is the word for love. Allah is simply the word for God in Arabic. Arabic-speaking Christians call God Allah. So Ishq Allah Mabud Leila actually means God is love, lover, and beloved. So whenever we are feeling hard about ourselves or someone else, we need to remember that there is nothing outside the love of God, of sacred unity, of the wholeness of the cosmos. So just pick up the words as you hear them, or just chant la la la, with the intention for peace and healing for our world. Ishq Allah Mabud Leila. 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 Everything it is, everything that is, everything that we are, that other human beings are, is always embraced by love. In unison with the light behind all light, we offer our respect and gratitude for the wisdom inspired by the earth and water, by the fire and air of the Middle East. And now we move to Asia. And one of our quotes is from Thich Nhat Hanh. And thank you, Katrina, for talking about this remarkable teacher's life. And also a short reading from our hymnal by Rabindranath Tagore, who was the first Indian to win the Nobel Prize, and he won it in literature.
This is a prayer from Thich Nhat Hanh. Let us be at peace with our bodies and our minds. Let us return to ourselves to become holy ourselves. Let us be aware of the source of being common to us all and to all living things. Evoking the presence of the great compassion, let us fill our hearts with our own compassion towards ourselves and towards all living beings. Let us pray that we ourselves cease to be the cause of suffering to each other. With humility, with awareness of the existence of life and of the sufferings that are going on around us, let us practice the establishment of peace in our hearts and on earth. Amen.
The same stream of life that runs through my veins night and day runs through the world and dances in rhythmic measures. It is the same life that shoots in joy through the dust of the earth in numberless blades of grass and breaks into tumultuous waves of leaves and flowers. It is the same life that is rocked in the ocean cradle of birth and death, in ebb and in flow. I feel my limbs are made glorious by the touch of this world of life. And my pride is from the life throb of ages dancing in my blood this moment. Rabindranath Tagore. In unison with the light behind all light, we offer respect and gratitude for the wisdom inspired by the earth and water, by the fire and air of Asia. We come now to Australia and Oceania. And I want to focus on the Aboriginal people whose beliefs are in many ways different than most other cultures because they believe in the dream time and they understand the dream time is part of their understanding of creation. It's where their ancestral beings survive. When dreaming in the Aboriginal sense, they are able to communicate with their ancestors. They believe that the dream time is part of everyday life, but it's beyond time and space. They call it the all at once time, layered at the same time rather than the one thing after another time. This is because they experience dream time as past, present, and future all happening at the same time, all coexisting. So you have a creation story for us.
Yes, this is the Rainbow Serpent creation story. Now, at the beginning of Dreamtime, the earth was flat and dry and empty. There were no trees, no rivers, no animals, and no grass. It was a dry, flat land. One day, Gorilla Allah, the rainbow serpent, woke from his sleep and he set off to find his tribe. He crossed Australia from east to west and north to south, stopping to listen for his people. He crossed every part of the dry, flat Australia, but found nothing. After searching for a long time, he grew tired and he lay down to sleep. The land he lay down to sleep on was not the same land that he had set out to search for his people on, though. And he looked for his people with his big, long body, and it had cut great gouges into the land. Gorilla Allah lay in the land, in the sand, all alone, until he decided to create more life in the world. He called frogs, "Come out." And the frogs rose out of the ground with their bellies full of the water that they stored. Then he tickled the frogs until the water burst from their mouth and filled the gouges in the land. These gouges made the rivers and the streams that we see today. As the water flowed over the land, grass and trees began to grow and fill the land with color. Now that there was grass to eat and water to drink, Gorilla Allah woke the animals. The kookaburra laughed, the goanna walked, and the wombat climbed out of her burrow, all for the first time. Some animals lived in the sea, swimming back and forth, and some animals lived in the sky, flying with their friends to distant places. Some animals lived on the land, digging and playing in the sand. They were happy and gathered food and water to bring back to their own tribes. Now the rainbow serpent made rules that all the animals had to obey. He said, all animals that obey the rules will be rewarded by becoming humans. The animals that disobey the rules will be punished. Well, some of the animals followed the rules and were rewarded by being turned into humans, while other animals disobeyed the rules and were turned into the stone that makes the mountains. One day it started to rain, and it rained like it had never rained before. Rain fell for days and days, and the world was becoming flooded with water. Two young men, Bill, or the Rainbow Lorikeet brothers, they had no shelter, and they came to the rainbow serpent. They asked for help sheltering from the rain. Well, the rainbow serpent was hungry, and he tricked the young man. He said, I have no shelter, but you can hide in my mouth. You'll be safe from the rain. The young men climbed into Gorilla Allah's mouth, and he closed it shut and swallowed both men. He soon realized that the people would notice the young men were missing and come looking for them. He knew they would find their track leading right into his mouth. He didn't want to be caught, so he decided to hide in the only place he knew he would be safe, and that was the sky. He hid in the sky away from the people chasing him, and he saw their sadness at losing these two young men. So he decided to try to make them happy again. So he turned his body into a big arc of beautiful colors. Now, every time, just after it rains, you can see the serpent rainbow sharing his beautiful colors with the people on the ground as his way of saying, sorry for taking those rainbow Lorikeet brothers.
In unison with the light behind all light, we offer our respect and gratitude for the wisdom inspired by the earth and water, by the fire and the air of Australia and Oceania. Today, we share a poem, The 10 Commandments of an Artist. And we also share a short reading by Ernesto Cardenal, who was raised in Nicaragua and became a priest and a liberation theologian working with the poorest people of his nation. Ernesto Cardenal. The music of the spheres, a harmonious universe like a harp. Its rhythms are the equal repeated seasons, the beating of the heart, day, night, the going and returning of migratory birds, the cycles of stars and corn, the mimosa that unfolds by day and folds up again by night, rhythms of moon and tide, one single rhythm in planets, atoms, sea, and apples that ripen and fall, and in the mind of Newton, melody, accord, arpeggios, the harp of the universe, unity behind apparent multiplicity. That is the music.
10 Commandments of an Artist by Gabriela Mistral. 1, you shall love beauty, which is the shadow of God over the universe. 2, there is no godless art. Although you love not the Creator, you shall bear witness to him, creating his likeness. 3, you shall create beauty, not to excite the senses, but to give sustenance to the soul. 4, you shall never use beauty as a pretext for luxury and vanity, but as a spiritual devotion. 5, you shall not seek beauty at carnival or fair or offer your work there, for beauty is virginal and is not to be found at carnival or fair. 6, beauty shall rise from your heart in song, and you shall be the first to be purified. 7, the beauty you create shall be known as compassion and shall console the hearts of men. 8, you shall bring forth your work as a mother brings forth her child out of the blood of your heart. 9, beauty shall not be an opiate that puts you to sleep, but a strong wine that fires you to action. For if you fail to be a true man or a true woman, you will fail to be an artist. 10, each act of creation shall leave you humble, for it is never as great as you dream, and always inferior to the most marvelous dream of God, which is nature.
In unison with the light behind all light, we offer our respect and gratitude for the wisdom inspired by the earth and water, by the fire and air of South America. And now we move to our home continent, North America, with a poem by one of our poet laureates, Joy Harjo, who was the first and only Native American so far to be poet laureate, and also a short poem by Langston Hughes.
Eagle Porn by Joy Harjo. To pray, you open your whole self to sky, to earth, to sun, to moon, to one whole voice that is you. And know that there is more that you can't see, can't hear, can't know except in moments, steadily growing in languages that aren't always sound, but other circles of motion. Like eagle that Sunday morning over Salt River, circled in blue sky and wind, swept our hearts clean with sacred wings. We see you, we see ourselves and know that we must take the utmost care and kindness in all things. Breathe in, knowing we are made of all this, and breathe, knowing we are truly blessed because we were born and die soon within a true circle of motion. Like eagle rounding out the morning inside us, we pray that it will be done in beauty, in beauty.
I Dream a World by Langston Hughes. I dream a world where man, no other man, will scorn, where love will bless the earth and peace its paths adorn. I dream a world where all will know sweet freedom's way, where greed no longer saps the soul, nor avarice blights our day. I dream a world where black or white, whatever race you be, will share the bounties of the earth, and every man is free. Where wretchedness will hang its head, and joy like a pearl attends the needs of all mankind. Of such a world, I dream my world. In unison with the light behind all light, we offer our respect and gratitude for the wisdom inspired by the water, by the earth and water, by the fire and air of North America. Toward the one, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty, the only being, united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the Spirit of guidance. We've honored the earth, all beings, and the amazing wisdom of all peoples and all cultures. Now we're going to take a few moments and go over time just a bit to embody that wonder and mystery and diversity of life. So I invite us to attune our breath, to breathe in peace and breathe out love. So let us breathe earth into our nose and out through our nose. Earth represents our skeleton, our bones, our backbone that hold us upright, walking on this blessed land. Earth supports life. And so we breathe in and we breathe out, honoring earth. We honor water, breathing in through our nose and out through our mouth. Water is not just important for sustaining us when we drink water, but we need to honor all the fluids of our body, our blood and other fluids that make it possible for our body to function, our muscles to work, for life to flow in peace and harmony. And so we breathe in and out, honoring water. We breathe in and out fire, in through our mouth and out through our nose. Fire, our heartbeat, our blood pulse, Fire represents pulsing life, our commitments, our passion, our love of life. We give thanks for fire. We breathe in and out air, in through our mouth, out through our mouth, like we're sipping on a straw. Breath, our only true possession. Breath is part of the air, and air surrounds our whole body. Skin is our largest sense organ, and it is covered with air that flows around. Air is changeable. It reminds us that life needs to flow freely. We give thanks for air. We are part of the earth, the water, the fire, and the air, becoming conscious of itself. And now let us take 2 or 3 breaths where we breathe in and out through our nose and mouth, breathing deeply. We breathe with a harmonious breath of all the elements together in fullness. For we are part of the breath of nature, becoming conscious of itself. In unison with the life behind all life, we breathe the peace of a new beginning, the hope of new creation, with the earth and water, with the fire and air of Europe, of Africa, of the Middle East, of Asia, of Australia and Oceania, of South America, of North America, of the whole planet, of the whole of the cosmos. And to complete this, we breathe with the image of the whole planet and the cosmos within our own hearts, feeling our own hearts within the heart of the one of sacred unity. And so we breathe. And let us join in our closing hymn, Our World is One World. May we go out in the world this week focused and setting our intent on peace and healing and love. And see if we can move toward balancing our focus on peace with all that we see, all the images, all the stories of pain and destruction. For we are people who wish to build peace and a beloved community. And so we extinguish our chalice, but not the, somebody else is going to have to read this because I have forgotten our words. So we're going to bless each other right now. So, Amen, Amen, Om Shanti Svaha, blessed be. And any other blessings you wish to offer to yourself and someone else, thank you for being here. And after the postlude, we hope everyone will stay for some social time. Blessings.